Hello guys, welcome to this episode of Boyd's Carlton Classic. So this week is a bit of a side quest which was kind of just came out of nowhere, as things often do when you're a small business owner. So we are in the middle of building a Ford Falcon, 1967 Ford Falcon, which we're going to be showing at our own Winter Blast show in 8 days time. And we were intending to shoot it at our friend's spray booth just down the road, but he's really busy at the moment. I don't want to be in imposition, so I've decided actually rather than taking it there, we're going to shoot it here. And rather than seeing that as a negative thing, I want to see it as an opportunity. So as I've said before, I'm a really keen YouTube watcher. I love watching people work on their projects. I learn a huge amount from it. And one of the things I've seen people do is build their own spray booth in their garage, workshop, wherever it might be. But often they're over in the States and they have access to different stuff. They can go to Home Depot and get a box fan and all that kind of stuff, which isn't available to us here in the UK. So I've basically got a day to source all the bits we need to build a spray booth. So it's Thursday sourcing all the bits, Friday putting it together, and then on Monday we're going to shoot the car in it. So I thought I'd do this as a bit of a separate video on building a spray booth and then seeing if we can, how much it costs and how easy it is to do, and perhaps it's something you're thinking about doing at home as well. So yeah, I'm going to get on the internet and start looking at what we need. Okay, so here's the science bit. So the premise of what we're trying to do is to create almost an airtight space that we can keep free of dust and we can move air through. So what we're trying to do is, I've got a very technical scientific drawing here, is you need to have a structure here, and you need to have one fan here that's blowing air in, it's got a filter so you're not taking any dust in, and then over the other side a fan that's drawing air out with a filter on it so as not to let any paint particles out into the workshop. Also you'll see there's a car, here, that's the scale, that's me, and then the sun's shining, and the sun isn't shining here, so that's one of the things we need to be wary of, is that on Monday it's a slightly warmer day, which is why we're choosing to do that. It's going to be 10 degrees. It's like -1 I think today or something like that, so we can't paint today, but it gives me a chance to build it. Now originally I had actually done a design where I was going to buy a load of CLS and cover it all in plastic, and that's obviously a good option for you, especially here in the UK, or people have used like PVC pipes, but I'm building a one that's 5 by 7 meters, so a big space, and I worked out that it would have cost me £108.12 in CLS, so not bad at all. And then I found some plastic coating which was about 30 quid for a big long roll. The challenge has been the fans actually, so box fans are not available in the UK in the same way that they are in the States, so I'm having to modify something, which I'll come to in just a minute. But I had a real stroke of luck yesterday in that I was talking to my landlord and telling him what I was doing, and he said, "Oh, I've got a marquee that I'm not using." And I was like, "How big is it?" And he said, it's 5 by 8 meters, 5 by 8 meters. And I was like, that's like the exact size that I need to do this. Do you want to sell it? And he was like, "Oh, just give us 50 quid for it." So that is an incredible solution for us, because it means I can put it apart and take it up, put it down and take it up when I need to. So if we can build this successfully and it works, then it gives us the option to then paint stuff in-house more in the future. And that's something I'm really keen to do. The more we can do in-house, the cheaper it is for us to do it, the cheaper we can then sell cars on, and the more self-sufficient we are. And I really want to be as self-sufficient as possible. So let's have a look at how we're going to build a box fan using what was available to us in the UK. Alright, so it seems like the biggest challenge was box fans. In America, it seems like you can just go to any hardware store, pick up like a square fan, perfect for fitting a filter on. But they don't seem to exist in the UK as readily. The only one I could find was on YouTube, Amazon. It was like £160, and it wouldn't have been here in time anyway. So we need to come up with a solution and be creative. So what I do have, this was in the corner of my workshop and it was staring at me, and I stared at it for a bit, and it stared back at me, and then I stared at it, and then it was on a stand which I pulled off, and it was attached to those stands with 2 bolts either side. And I thought, well actually, if we try and frame this in a wooden square, then we can fit the filter on it. So I had one of these and I managed to get another one from Argos for £25. So I will put together all the costings at the end so you can see how much it cost me. But I guess the first thing I need to do is to take it apart a bit and work out how wide it is, because that's quite hard because it's kind of a weird shape, so let's do that. Right, I think it's got clips around the edge here, which I'll undo. Oh Christ. Maybe I'll get a screwdriver, bear with me. Screwdriver. Just unbit those. Get that in my hands, my delicate hands. Right, so that'll do two things. One is I can now measure the diameter, but also I'll be able to access the backs of those screws. Ah, there's a couple of clips there. How does that come off? Oh, okay, I see. Oh, there's a little screw. Right. Down here there's a little tiny nut and bolt, so I need to undo that. Let's see if we've got small enough. Right, I didn't have a tiny spanner, so I'm going to try this adjustable. Lefty loosey. Hopefully that's turning the nut and not just turning the whole thing. That seems to be working. God, they really didn't want you to take this apart. Get your fingers stuck in it, did they? I guess where there's blame, there's a claim. Right, let's see if that now comes open. Yeah. Slide that out of that bit at the back. There we go. Right. So let's measure the diameter, because we want the frame for it, I guess, to be fairly tight. So this is, let's go from there to there, 57 centimeters, 570 millimeters, 22.5 inches for those of you who work in Imperial. So I'm going to be a bit of a carpenter now, and we're going to cut some bits of CLS which I had lying around and build a frame for it. Right, okay, so I've got some CLS out of my garage. So we know the internal width we need to be 57 centimeters, and then the depth of the wood is 4 centimeters, so that's 61. So we need 2 times 57, and we need 2 lengths times 61. And then obviously we're going to have to do this all over again because we need 2 of these things. But let me cut the first bit out. So let's do a 57 out of one of these short bits. All around the curtain. I do actually have a chop saw at home, but I don't have it here, and I couldn't bother to bring it here. So, let's chop them out of the way. It's a cold day today, so this will be good for keeping me warm. Blaming my bad work and blame his tools and fight. Perfect. One down, 3 to go. I'll do them and then we'll come back. All right friends, so we have a perfectly square frame. Not in the slightest by parallelogram. But I've done some Googling, and what it turns out is that with the fan, this thing obviously blows air out towards you, that way. So yeah, that way. And what you need to do is make sure the filter is in before it, because what you don't want it to be doing is all the dust and crap that's blowing that way getting sucked into the motor here. So the filter needs to go in front of it, and then the air go through, get pulled through it, kind of thing. So I'm going to have to slightly modify my highly technical design, and what I'm going to do is use my frame, and because the back of this sits proud, it will kind of sit in front of it. So I'm just going to put some extra bits of wood in front of it and then screw through that mesh into that, so it so it sits kind of just in front of it. And then I'm thinking I probably need to build, I'm guessing this by the way, is just build almost like a cardboard manifold on the other side, so it doesn't just draw air from within the tent, it's pulling it through the filter. So yeah, so I'm going to put a few bits of the offcuts of wood around here, drill the fan through into those bits, put the front back on, and then hopefully, yeah, we should be able to put the filter on and see how it looks, and then we can do the other one. It's science, baby. Okay, so we're getting somewhere now. Now you would have spotted earlier, and I know you spotted, I said it needed to be 57 and 61 centimetre lengths, and it actually needed to be 65 centimetres, didn't it? I need to add that 4 centimetres on twice. And you knew that, and you kept quiet, didn't you? Because you thought it's best if you learn some self. Well, thank you for that, because I have learned, and I did fix it, and we'll know for the next one as well. So it's sitting in, I've put some bits at the bottom to make a bit of a base, so hopefully it's stable. We'll see when it's switched on. And I now just need to, it's such a good interference fit. It sits in there anyway, but I thought, how do I attach it? And I was thinking I could screw through that way. And then I thought, what's the strongest fixing known to any man? Cable ties. So I'm going to whip some cable ties around each of those corners, and yeah, hopefully that will then be held in. Maybe we'll then give it a little bit of a blast to see that it doesn't destroy itself. Right, so the fan is now secured. I've grabbed it and I've said that ain't going anywhere, which is pretty much the sign off that you need, but I think we need to do our first test flight to make sure it doesn't rattle itself to death. So we'll go for 1. That's looking good. And I'm going to jump straight up to 3 because I'm crazy. All right, that seems all right to me. Solid box fan. All right, so we are cooking with gas now, my friends. And the next step, I think, in our wonderful creation is, like I said, I think we need to build like a manifold so that it's only pulling air through here rather than sort of recirculating air from inside the tent. So I've got this wonderful piece of cardboard, thanks to my friend Jeff Bezos. My thinking is I'll cut a hole in it that's a bit smaller than that. So I think the blade is 18 inches, so maybe I'll go for 18 inches. And then I'm just going to tape it so it's airtight to the frame like that, so it only is pulling air through the back of that. So yeah, bit of arts and crafts, let's give that a go. Right, I found a steering wheel that's 15 inches, I figure that'll do. Well, I guess we want to kind of make it central, so let's find the centre point. Oh, 65 centimetres that way. Actually, we know that because that is the size of the frame. 65. You'll notice that I only work in whole centimetres. I'm not interested in millimetres. Half of 65, guys, 32.5. Mark that off there. And then let's go the other way. All fingers and thumbs. my legs are too nice to put on the floor. That is 81, so let's say 40.5. Yeah, I'm really close. I'm good at picking the middle without measuring. That's probably my main skill in life. And then we know this is 15 inches wide, so let's just, so I can line out better, let's just mark off 7.5 inches each way. So I can drop it in the right place. And then what I'll do is draw around the steering wheel, try not to get Sharpie all over what is very nice with the steering wheel. Like I say, I don't know if this is necessary. If any of you are scientists, I guess you need to be scientists for that knowledge, let me know. But I think we want to make sure the air is flowing from back to front. So it seems like a sensible thing to do, but not a lot of effort. I'm going to go find a knife. Found one. One of the things you find when you have a massive 3,000 square foot workshop is, oh my god, I put stuff down and I can never find it. It's the worst. I was like that anyway in my garage, but in this place, it's an endless struggle trying to find your tools. And apologies, by the way, that the workshop's not, look at its tidy. It's like when I'm like really in the grip of a project, and it's a busy couple of weeks. Obviously I'm filming these things for you. I'm building this Falcon. I've also got a show that I'm putting on the 30th of November. I kind of just get really wrapped up in doing work. And I kind of reward myself when I finish the project by doing a really sort of big clear out of the workshop. So I'm looking forward to that. Because I do like having a tidy workspace, but it's difficult, isn't it? That is perfect. Put that on there. I'm going to go and find some tape now, bear with me. Right there. Found the tape. Oh, looks good, doesn't it? Just throw a little bit. Oh god, this is really thick tape. Oh, there it is. Right. A little bit on there. Stay on the other end. And go there. Down like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh. Gosh, this is really thick tape. Ugh. I should use scissors really. The dentist will be screaming at the screen. My dentist doesn't watch it. I don't think that's anyway. Hey Pete, if you are watching, I will be in for a checkup for Christmas. Got a knife here, might as well just use that, eh? Might as well use that. So we want to take that down there. I think I'll just do one bit on each sort of edge. Maybe tape to wood, dusty wood isn't the best idea, but I haven't got a better idea. I've used up all my ideas today, so we're making. Oh, that makes it much nicer and flusher. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to whip tape all around that. You don't need to see that because I'd imagine that doesn't make for good viewing. But we're there. We're pretty much nearly there. All right. So it's all sealed in. Hopefully this tape is incredibly strong and not that sticky. They've sacrificed stickiness for strength. But the final thing we need to do is, where did I put it? Oh, sorry, first person filming. The filter. So this, yeah, was like 20 quid on Amazon, next day delivery. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. And that is then going to draw the air through this filter. It has like an airflow direction on it, so I just need to tape that onto there. And we've got a box fan that filters. Now I've got to go and do that exact same thing again now, and my enthusiasm to do it has disappeared, so I'm just going to do it off camera, and we'll join you again when I've got to, and Dan's coming to help me put up the marquee, so I'll see you in a bit. Dan is here. Give us a wave, Dan. No swearing. The second box fan is built, and although I did it off camera, you can guarantee that there's no compromise in quality whatsoever. We've moved the taxi out of the way to make space for the ginormous marquee. So this is going to be fun, isn't it, Dan? Yeah. So what happened next is that Dan and I took about an hour and a half to 2 hours to put up an enormous marquee. Now, I did record most of that, and if you'd like the extended director's cut of us standing around looking confused, lots of builder's crack showing and getting it wrong and then having to take bits apart again and put it back up again, then do let me know and I can send you that if that's your jam. But fundamentally, put up the marquee. Read the instructions properly, which we failed to do, and yeah, it was fairly straightforward once we got our head around it, and yeah, I think once we've done it, now we've done it once, if we were to do it again, we'd know exactly what we were doing, and it would probably take half the time, but yeah, it was a bit of an ordeal, but we got it done, and then we went to the pub. So yeah, enjoy. All right, look at that, 50 quid. What an absolute bargain, that was a godsend. So Dan and I managed to get this up, it took us about an hour and a half, I think, on Friday afternoon. And what we actually found is that we put it up inside out, which doesn't really matter. In fact, it might work in our favor, because what we need to do now is to seal up all the seams. So I'm going to get some duct tape and just tape all these down. Actually, I think it'll be easier to do along there than it would have done if it was on the inside. I think we've got a better chance of a airtight seal. So yeah, all the tapes, all the joins, everything will be taped up to try and make it airtight. So I'm going to crack on with that now. Really excited to see if we can get this thing working. So yeah, I better bust out the duct tape. Here's a question for you. Is it duct tape or is it duct tape? I always just kind of say duct tape, so I could be saying either. But yeah, this says duct tape on it, but I actually thought it was duct tape. Maybe duct tape's just a brand. Stick it in the comments, let me know, so I don't go through my life talking like an idiot. Right, that's all the edges taped both inside and out. Hopefully that will do a good job of keeping it airtight. And I've pinned the bottom skirts underneath the legs on this side, so I'm going to put a sort of dust sheet down over the whole thing that I can tape to try and again make it all airtight all the way around. I'm just going to now get my old mate Henry and give it a hoover. Obviously I still haven't put the front on yet, which I'm going to do next too, but I want to kind of get it all clear. Yeah, it's starting to look like a paint booth. Alright, so I was at my favourite shop, B&M, the other day, and I found these dust sheets. So they're 5x4 metres. This is 5x8 metres, which is just too good to be true. And this is actually a 5-pack for £4, so God bless you, B&M. My plan is I have taped it all around. I've put that side up now, taped that all in, and realised it's got a big garage door opening, so that couldn't have been more perfect. This side was a bit short around here, so I've taped some polythene down there already, and then I'm going to lay the dust sheet down so we've got a complete seal around all the skirt there to keep as much dust out as possible. And yeah, obviously this is a workshop I've been working in for quite a few months now, so it's not the cleanest, so this will hopefully keep it as clean as possible. So, dust sheet going in. I anticipate this being an absolute nightmare to do. I also anticipate you seeing my bottom crack. That's going to be a strong feature of Boyd's Carlton Classic. Because I don't have a bottom, I have a long back. So my trousers, they've got nothing to hang on to, my friends. So yeah, good luck on the butt crack front. And good luck to me in getting this down in a way that doesn't cause me too much struggle. Ugh. All right, so the floor is now covered, and it's starting to feel a little bit less like I'm arranging a 60-year-old's garden party and more like we've got a spray booth. But I just wanted to quickly show you this as an aside because it affects the budget. So last week on Friday I built the 2 air boxes, and I ordered some air filters from Amazon, and the listing gave the impression that it was 2 you were buying, and then when it arrived it was only 1. But I thought, so I won't bother Jeff because he's a busy man, and you know, I'll just order another one because it was next day delivery anyway, so I knew it'd be here in time for today. And I'd already built the box, so I just need to tape it on. And then when I opened the box this morning, this time I've only got 2 of the buggers, if I can get them out. So this time I've got 2. So you get the impression there's 2 in here. I don't know what Jeff's playing at. I'm starting to think that he's not individually checking every one of his listings. So get your head in the game, Jeff. But what it does mean is if you're going to do this, 2 filters for 20 quid. I'll put the link down in the description so you can get it for yourself. But again, that makes the whole build a little bit cheaper as well. So I'm going to get this on to the other box fan, and then I'm going to actually look at cutting holes in here and installing those, which I've been putting off for some reason. I feel a bit nervous about it, but should be fairly straightforward. So I'm going to crack on and getting that ready. Right, so I popped my airbox there. The air filter's on the back of it now. Now, as you know, I put a sort of manifold so it's circular opening. So basically all I need to do is cut a hole that is bigger than that circle, and then I can tape around to the cardboard and get an airtight seal, and then we know it's going to be coming, you know, I guess a seal around there. So let's give it a blast. I've been really putting this off. Double layered it there. 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 only use masking tape for this because obviously I would have made that out of cardboard, then you always reuse it, which is, my hope is that we're building something that can get used multiple times. Because whilst it's only costing relatively small amount, it's still money, you know, and I kind of did think about getting one of those inflatable spray boots you might have seen, and that's something that I'd still kind of like to do because it'd be perfect for this application. Like I say, we put it up when we're painting and put it down when we're not. Perhaps if one day budget allows, that's something I'll be able to look at. So obviously what we're doing with this one is blowing air in, so clean air coming in through the filter to keep out any dust and rubbish. You might notice my phone keeps going off, and that's because it's show week, like I say, so you got non-stop people asking if they can bring their dog and bring their kids and all that kind of stuff. Tickets still available, they are still available, although that's in the past, so you missed it. But if you want to see what the Winds Blast is all about, check out this video. Okay, that's one done. I'm going to go and do the other one now as well. And then we should be ready to try it. Okay, so we have intake fan. I've also got an LED light in here. It's much bigger than I thought, and it is quite light in here, but I figure it's best to have a mobile light to get around. And this is the outtake fan. And I've sealed everything up. I've sealed this down here. I've left that bit open so I can get in and out, but I will seal that up before we actually start painting. So really all that's left to do is for me to button it up, turn on the fans, and let's see what happens. Can you start the fans, please? I think it's working. You can feel, I don't know, it feels like a vacuum in a way. The walls are being sucked in slightly, which is good. I know there's a couple of bits I need to seal up still, which I'll do when the car's in and when we're in with it. But I think we're golden. So really, the only thing left to do is to get a car in here and paint it. Now, I'm not going to show you all that in this video if that's what you're here for. You're going to have to go and see our Falcon build, which is just over here. This is just about this, so I'll give you a little bit of B-roll of painting, and then we'll talk about how much it's all cost, and then we can talk about if it works as well. But if you want to see it all go in progress, watch that Falcon build. Thank you very much. Well, we're in the process of painting, and it's kind of red and pink in there, and it ain't red and pink out here. And the filter is red and pink as well, so looks like something's happening, looks like something's working, so quite happy with that. Okay, so now the spray booth is built and complete, I thought it'd be a good chance for us to just look at how much it costs. So as you see on the screen here, the marquee I picked up for £50. Like I say, that was an enormous bargain. But it was also a really big one as well. I would definitely say if you can get one, it's worth doing, and get one that's the right size for you. The fact that we were able to do that for 50 is a bit of a fluke. When I costed up doing it out CLS, you were looking at closer to like 140, I think it was. So do bear that in mind if you're thinking about building from scratch. The fans, I already had one, but I was able to buy another one for 25, so I've factored in 2 of those for 25. Filters were from Amazon, and like I say, I actually got 2 for 20 in the end, which is, I think, pretty good value, and you will have to change those as and when you use it. CLS, I had bits lying around. You could go to Wix or any kind of DIY store and pick some up. You just need a couple of lengths once you've done your measurements, I reckon. So I factored in £20, which I think is quite generous to do that. The duct tape was £10, and yeah, that worked really well. And I would use those to tape around the box fans too, because that other tape I had was rubbish. And then the floor covering that I got from B&M was £4, and that was for 5 of those. So again, if you're to reuse it, you're going to want to change those. So that, you know, you're looking really at £2 per use. So I think, all in all, £154 to achieve that is really good value and well worth doing. So there you have it. We built a spray booth for not very much money. What advice would I give, and would I do it? I think, I think it has been worthwhile. Obviously, we're blessed with space, which I know not everyone will have, but equally, we've built an enormous one as well, which you wouldn't have to do. It wasn't a huge amount of work. You could easily do it in a day, especially if you use a pre-built structure. Obviously, if you're going to build a structure yourself, it will take a little bit longer, but then I guess you've got more options in terms of the space that you need to fill and how you design it. Were the results worth it? I think so. This is the first car that we have painted like this. We've rattled can carters before and stuff, and done a quick job like that. But this is the next level. I'm happy with the results. I think there could be improvement, but this is the first one we do. The next one we do will be better, the one after that will be better, and the one after that will be better. And I think with doing some post-painting work, like I'm in the middle of doing now, so I'm flattening down the car and then I'm going to 2-stage polish it, you can get pretty desirable results out of very little money. I spent under 200, well, probably about £200 including primer on the paint on this vehicle, and I bought way too much as well, so you could probably knock a third off that. It is a big thing for me when I'm looking for potential project vehicles, when I'm looking at cars. I often pick up abandoned projects and finish them off, because I think there's value in that, and I just hate seeing projects just sitting on someone's drive and going to waste, and I'm sure you do too. And one of the biggest points that people stop is when it gets to paint, because they get there and then they go, right, cool, I'm going to get this painted now, let me get a quote, and they'll be quoted 10 grand to start with, and then they're like, oh damn, I don't really want to spend 10 grand on this. And then they'll go, okay, where can I get it just really cheaply blown over, a semi-decent job, and they'll find that even that costs 3 grand. So I think we can probably get to a point where we can achieve the 3 grand level paint jobs, and for me, that's great. That's what I would like to do. And if we're ever in a position to make the show vehicles, then I'd never be capable of doing that. I don't have the skill set, and we certainly don't have the equipment here. So be brave, be bold, expect to be sanding and polishing a lot, and yeah, you should absolutely build your own spray booth and create something really cool. And if you've done that, or if you're going to do that, please share it down in the comments below. If you want to see the full results of what we've done here, painting this Falcon, then please do check out our Falcon build video as well, and you'll be able to see more of actually how it came out and the process of painting. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to hopefully catching you again on our next episode, or perhaps seeing you at show or something like that. Take care.